Welcome back to GCTV. Welcome back to sunny Mexico. It has been a beautiful afternoon thus far. You can see the crowd behind me on both sides here starting to build as we get deeper and deeper into the day here in Global Champions League. There is still the second round to come, but what an entertaining opening round and what a fairy tale story for Fernando Martinez Soma, a homeboy here in Mexico for the Prague Lions, going on to jump clear. And let's take nothing away from his teammate, from his partner Thibaut Spitz. He was sensational, the young man, on that 9-year-old in Miami. Well, guess what? He brings Impress K to Mexico. He jumps on a completely different surface and delivers a clear in a time so quick that it knocks the Rome Gladiators into second place. And now CanStars move down to third. Let's show you what the rankings look like and give you a better, bigger picture of how the teams stand at the end of Global Champions League round one. As we said, Prague Lions, boy, they were sensational, just less than a second and a half faster than the Rome Gladiators and CanStars. And then a handful of teams on four. Falkenswart United take nothing away from them. Jack Ryan and Gilles Thomas, two very young riders, keeping the team on a very good score. Scandinavian Vikings and Istanbul Warriors, I'm afraid, on 16, having a pretty tough day. And I'm afraid there were still some pretty high scores as well that followed for New York Empire, as a few other teams really struggled. Razorback International, we spoke about them a lot in the pre-studio. How were they going to survive with a few changes, a few new look faces? And I'm afraid for the team powered by Kingsland, we had 4 penalties for Richard Vogel and 8 penalties for Philip Schulz. The top off Razorback Internationals now find themselves on a combined score of 12 penalties. We get to the leading team in a few moments' time. We want to find out what they have to say. We want to go back and re-watch those moments as well. Just give you an idea just as to how the Prague Lions, powered by the Czech equestrian team, were able to put themselves into first place. We also have Frederick de Backer standing by a little bit later on. Get some analysis from him, get an idea as to how round one played out. He gave us a few pointers earlier on. Let's see if they held up. Let's take a look at the Prague Lions round. This is the highlights of how the Prague Lions were able to get into first place at the halfway stage. Thibaut Spitz and the hometown hero Fernando Martinez Soma leading the Prague Lions, powered by the Czech equestrian team, into provisional pole position. They will be the very last team to go in Global Champions League round 2. And can we see yet another sensational performance from them like we saw at the end of the previous stage in Miami? Now, Frederik de Backer is standing by for us to give us some reaction on what has taken place. And can I start by saying, Frederik, 2 of your favorites find themselves inside the top 3. You got to keep up this good streak, my friend.
I'm really sorry, Mark. I've got loud Mexicans in my ear. I didn't hear your question. I'm sorry.
I was complimenting your wonderful predictions that 2 of the top 3 were in your favorites. Oh dear, all right. We seem to have some difficulty with Frederik de Backer. We'll see if we can try and get him back onto the show as we reconnect with him. Yeah. We are trying to see if we can
I was saying all the time, there's a loud Mexican, Spanish guy in my ear. I don't hear anything.
He put out a couple of favorites, and 2 out of the 3, in fact, have gone on to find themselves on Frederik's favorites list. So he's done pretty well. We'll see if we can take a break, and we'll try and get Frederik de Backer back onto the show. This is GCTV. This is the halfway point of Global Champions League Day.
Elegance is an attitude. Of course it is. Elegance is an attitude. Of course it is.
Welcome back to GCTV here in Mexico City. If you've just joined us, the Prague Lions, powered by the Czech equestrian team, find themselves in the leading position ahead of the Rome Gladiators, the only 2 teams on double clear. And then the Cannes Stars, your joint GCL leaders, find themselves in 3rd place on a score of 4 penalties. A wonderful clear from Sanne Thijssen. Some difficulties for the Riesemark International team, powered by Kingsland. They came here this weekend under some special technicalities of Rule 2.5 that allowed Richard Vogel to come and support the team because of the injury to Owen McMahon. A lot of talk around their performances. Philipp Schulze-Tophoff and Vogel, 8 penalties and 4 penalties respectively. They find themselves on 12. We caught up with Philipp Schulze-Tophoff.
Philipp, it's a slight improvement on Miami, but it's still not double clears. What do you think went wrong in there?
Yes, I agree. It's a little improvement, but we are for sure not happy about this performance. We had little more hope, to be honest. Yeah, we have to look for the second round and try to do it better.
I saw you guys chatting after the round. Were you talking about your round's tactics for round 2?
Tactics is really simple. We have to go clear. That's yeah, as I said, really simple. Yeah, we did a short analysis, but yeah, we have to look forward for the second round.
We can often see you coming back here in Mexico City from Miami. Do you believe in round 2 that you can make that happen?
Yeah, we have to we have to stay focused and look forward. It doesn't help us to look back and to see only the faults and to be disappointed. We have to look forward and then try to make it better.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Still somewhat of a smile on the face of young Filip Schulze-Topov, but you would get the impression that on 12 penalties that Razorback International may not play any part in a podium a little bit later on this afternoon. But stranger things have happened in the world of show jumping. Many would feel, though, that between those two teams on double clear, your leaders, the Prague Lions, and the Rome Gladiators, powered by ClipMyHorse.tv, that surely out of those two in good form, there might be your winner for Mexico City by the end of the night. Speaking of people in good form, well, Michael Duffy, if you recall, granted we jumped platforms to the LGCT. We had him in studio last week as the winner of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Miami Beach, and he's continued with that form into the Global Champions League, jumping clear here today along with his teammate Lorenzo De Luca. We caught up with Michael Duffy.
Michael, a fantastic start for the Rome Gladiators there. You and Lorenzo must be so pleased.
Yeah, very happy. But the boat jumped very good, and it's tough enough jumping in there now. I must say it's big enough. So yeah, it's a good start.
We're not seeing very many clears in there. Is it the way the course is? Is it the arena? What do you think it is?
Sure, a bit of everything, but it's bloody big now. You know what I mean? It's big enough. It's very fair. There's not too many casualties or anything, but it's there's enough for jumping to be done anyway. That's for sure.
Going into round 2 then, you've got the we call them the big boys coming in, the next horses coming. Great team tactics there.
Well, sure, we don't know yet. We'll have to see now after the second round, but the first part of the plan has gone correctly anyway, so good start.
Good start, good luck for the next.
Cheers, thank you.
Michael Duffy from the Rome Gladiators along with Lorenzo De Luca find themselves in second place. The Kun Stars, as we said, powered by Iron Dames, currently in third place. A wonderful clear from Sanatesa. Catherine Ackerman a little bit earlier on, just before that, on Shao Li, having one rail down for 4 penalties. So as it stands, Prague Lions, Rome Gladiators, and the Kun Stars in first, second, and third. Now the course will be rebuilt. There will be a new course walk, and there will be an opportunity for us to prepare and preview Global Champions League Round 2. That is still to come later on this afternoon. So stay with us here on GCTV. More from Mexico City next. We are back, and finally this year in 2024, the Global Champions League enters its 8th season.
It's a team championship over 15 stages, with riders of different nationalities competing on each team.
Every team has a team manager who selects a maximum of 6 riders for the season, and they must contain at least one under 25.
Halfway through the season, the transfer window allows the team's manager to change riders on their roster. This year, the transfer window opens after Paris and closes before Stage 9 in Stockholm.
A maximum of 3 riders travel with each team to each stage, but only 2 of them can compete at the 2 rounds of GCL.
Between rounds, a manager can swap in a horse or change rider.
The penalties of both riders are added over the 2 rounds, meaning there's no drop score.
In case of a tie on points, the added times from round 2 will be the tiebreaker.
The team that wins the stage will add 30 championship points to its tally.
Teams are battling to finish in the top 4 in the championship, as that takes them straight to the semi-finals of the Global Champions Playoffs this year, held in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
And the team with the most points at the end of the season will be crowned 2024 Global Champions League winners.
My name is Geir Gulliksen. I'm the team owner of Scandinavian Vikings. My job is to get all the sponsors together so we can finance the team. And then I get the riders together, which I think will do good for the team. The third thing I have to do is to put the riders for each show together to do the job, you know, to make as much points as we can to get to the final. My main thing is that the sponsors are very happy and they enjoy themselves at the show. They don't feel alone at the shows. So it's important that we talk to them, inform them about what is going on, etc., etc. It's my job to decide who rides on the team class. When we finish the first day of the team, we talk through it, what happened and what is our plan for the second leg, because that's important that I get the feedback from the riders so I know which horse is the best for the day. What I like most about my job is that I can go to these fantastic shows and get a good team together and run it. That's very interesting, I find.
My name is Kristina Ribicic and I'm the groom of Jody Hall McAtee. My job consists of making sure that the horses are at their best to perform at this level. First of all, there's a lot of traveling involved and you're traveling everywhere with your horses. The main challenges of grooming would be making sure you're on time, making sure you're organized. In the mornings, I give my horses hay, give them hard feed, make sure they have plenty of fresh water, muck them out, check their legs and their whole body. The busiest part of the day at the show would be preparing the horse for the competition. We spend 24 hours with the horses and we do everything for the horses and for the rider. It's very important to give the right love to the horses and the right care. I just love my horses. They're like my babies.
My name is Rob Hoekstra. I'm the team manager and coach of the Paris Panthers. The coaching aspect is preparing the horses in the warm-up and the riders in the warm-up, walking the course, planning a strategy and to see what the riders have done. Normally the first day we try and go for clear rounds. This time it's not that important. Second day depends on what the other riders have done, the other teams have done, and then we make a plan for that. The role I have mainly is to be able to discuss with the riders. All these guys are already top riders. Discussion is always good to make sure that the plan we've made suits their horse. I think it gives them confidence, and confidence is everything in riding. Obviously the busiest part is the team classes, the first team class and then the second team classes, and then I always help them for the Grand Prix. So the most challenging part is jumping clear rounds. Well, the main goal is obviously to jump clear rounds and to try and win as many team classes as we can. The best part is to work with top riders. All our riders in the team are in the top of the world, and to be able to work with top riders like that is very, very nice.
These are some of the hardest shows in the world.
Competing against top of the world.
Each team is required to have one under 25 rider.
If you're good enough, you make it, and if not, then it's a little difficult.
It's not like a car. When it's broken, you bring it to the garage and it's fixed.
It's my special horse.
Yeah, there it is.
He changed my life.
What a start from the championship.
It's overwhelming.
It's a dream come true for me to be here.
The score now rises.
I'm stressed.
You can be on top of the world the 1 week and then at the bottom of the pile the next week.
Ooh, and it comes to a stop. Jumping good as well.
They always say you're as good as your last round.
Show jumping is down to the finest details.
Not trying to be fifth, just trying to be first.
Look at that! Unbelievable!
That one will be hard to beat.
Some of these under 25 riders will be the champions of tomorrow.
This feeling is...
I'm here to win and not just take part.
I have to start my day with a coffee. It's a big part of my morning. And then normally I head to the show. I'll flat ride the horses. They are normally exercised early in the morning as well. And then I head back to the hotel. I like to go to the gym, make sure I'm in good shape. You know, I put so much work into my horses, so it's important I look after myself as well to keep up with all the big guys, basically. I really enjoy running. Sometimes if I'm in the cities, I'll go for a little run. Do a lot of core work with the riding. The core stability in the saddle is very important. I'm so fortunate I get to do this. I'm living my dream. It can be quite overwhelming jumping at this level against my idols, some of the best riders in the world. So I just want to make sure that I enjoy it and don't get so caught up and fixated on the result side of things. Because of that, I've been working with Poppy Blandford, a mental coach. I normally would speak to her before a show, especially the important events like London. I've been aiming for this for a long time now, my home show. I wanted to be here in good shape. It's been important working with her to kind of create the right mental process to create consistency jumping at this level. I never skip breakfast. It sets me up for the rest of the day. I love a good English breakfast. It's my favourite thing, but obviously it's quite heavy to have every day. So I'll normally have an omelette, some kind of egg, some yogurt or something like that. I've been living in Holland for 1.5 years now, so it's not so often I get to come home. It's very nice to be back here and to see a lot of people that I haven't seen for a while. My younger sister Ellie is competing here this week, so I'll be coming back to the show and watching her and supporting her in the 2-star classes. We've both grown up around it. As a family, it's really special to have that involvement together, and the understanding there and the support from my family is everything to me. I'm very fortunate to have some fantastic sponsors. So this morning I'm doing some promotional filming with Lemieux. I'm debuting a new show jacket with them. When I'm at shows like this, it's very important to interact with them and get some content for them. I've been training with Ben Schroeder for 1.5 years now. Ben will be on the ground whenever I'm on the horse, really, feeding back to me, giving me little tips, keeping me in check, making sure I'm 100% on the job. Then we'll walk the course together, go through, make a plan. We'll watch the riders go, see how the course is riding and keep feeding back to what I'm going to do. Before the class, I like to go back to the stables, kind of check the horses, make sure everything's in order, that my groom Tina is also there and knows what's coming and what's next kind of for the day. Make sure my horses are happy as well, and normally I like to give them a treat before the class, kind of motivate them that they'll get more later if we do well. With Poppy's help, I've kind of created a process whereby I'm always feeding back to my riding and what's going on with the horse. I call it my Bible. It's a journal, and basically any time I've made a mistake, I kind of look back at what the thoughts were and how I reacted to certain mistakes, so that moving forwards, if ever I'm in that situation again, I know what to do and what can do better. When I go in the ring, there's 45 seconds when the bell's gone, kind of regroup and get in the zone and get the job done. So after the class, I head back to the stables, I take my boots off, normally say thank you to my horse and thank you to Tina as well for looking after the horse and me and keeping us on the road, really. And then I head back to my trainer, we have a debrief, watch my rounds back and analyse what went well and what could have gone better. To have my family watching me in real life is very special. My grandparents, they watch everything on the live stream. They've given me every opportunity possible to do what I do today, and they've made my dreams come true. So I'm so thankful to have them here watching me and to share the highs and the lows of the sport with them.
Geordie Hall McAteer jumping a double clear, and with that brings the team one step closer to their first podium finish this season.
Days like today are incredible. Something I've dreamed about since I was very small, so I just want to make the most of it. I'm very thankful to be a part of it and to be in the position I'm in. I just want to keep moving forwards as a rider, and I hope for many more days like this in the future.
Innovation for me comes as part of my work as being a rider and a competition rider and horseman. When you're on a certain level and you want to become better, obviously you cannot do the same And then you have to develop new things and try new things. And you have to be brave, and you have to accept maybe you try 10 things. None of them might work. But if one is working, it's going to be worth it, because then you're going to take one little step forward. That has driven me to develop new things. I'm Peder Fredriksson, and this is Pursuit of Greatness. To invent new things, you have to have knowledge. It's not enough just to say, I would like to do something new. If you don't have the background and the experience, I'm actually not only for new things. You know, I'm really respecting traditions. You know, a long time ago, I read Alois Podolsky's book, The Horse and Rider, from the Spanish riding schools. I read 3 times, and you can learn so much from it. I realized that the better the horses feel, the happier they are, the better they will perform. So I've made some changes during the years for 2 reasons. One is because I like the horses. I want them to have a good life. But then the second reason is because I want success.
He's very driven of searching for development. Maybe the last 5-7 years it's been much more of it, because I think together with the confidence that you maybe believe more and more and more that you don't need to do like everyone else. Maybe you should do your own way of taking things.
The first idea that I did was at the Olympics in Barcelona when I rode Hilly Trip. Jan Jönsson, my trainer, told me that I should run the roads and tracks instead of riding on her, just to save her for the cross country. And the boots I had were really uncomfortable to run in. So I went to a cobbler and I took my trainers and I said, I would like you to make me a pair of riding boots that feels like these trainers. And I would like to have them really light, because I have a small horse. I'm a big guy, and 3-day eventing is a lot of effort for the horse.
He is a couple of steps ahead of the rest of us. So he was already then, you know, seeing things that we hadn't seen. He saw the problem and he made a change to it that he really benefited from.
My wife, Stina, from the beginning, she thought that Peter was a dreaming artist type. She said, Fredrik, Peter is almost like a copy of you now. He's just working in the future with new ideas and development.
My father is now running a project called the Brösarps Project. That's something actually an idea he had for many, many years. This is the project he has with the way you bring up horses in a natural way to make them actually better prepared for the life as a sporting horse. When we buy a horse, we don't check if it's been standing inside in a small pen or if it's been outside, you know, training the ligaments and the hooves and all these things. In the future, we're going to be more interested in these aspects, because for sure this has a huge influence on the horse's potential as a sport horse and for the length of the career.
My father is a professor, and he has been worked with developing things his whole life. He always lives 20 years ahead. He say things and people say no, but it always end up there.
My father's mindset, I really appreciate it. He's very open-minded, he's very curious. He's not stuck in any way that this is how it has to be. He has a passion for what he's doing. He gave that spirit to me, my brother, which I'm very grateful for. This barefoot thing I tried actually start with a horse called Hansson. He got his injury and we just couldn't get him back. So we took the shoes off. For some reason I just thought I'm just going to see how he moves without the shoes. Within a few days it was a big improvement. And he got a second career. After that I thought, okay, why just do it on horses that are lame? Maybe we should not wait until they get lame. I just kept all my horses barefoot, and that's where we are now.
His innovations it can be small, it can be big, and it's surprising, and sometimes we get like frustrated because we already started working like in a specific way maybe, and then it comes with the new things. If you're going to work here, you have to get used to it and just get along with it.
I have noticed by myself that I look on the hooves in a whole different way than I did before. I always have an extra eye on the hooves, and if I need to rasp it, or I look on the frog if it's healthy, and if it needs some extra care, I always put it on. We always need to think how the ground is before we, for example, unload our horses.
When we did this, we had to learn everything, try it out, see what is working, what is not working. Peter was trying to get it with us as best as possible, and this we are still doing, because it's still so much you can learn from everything, and that's so nice to work with him because he really tries all the time to improve everything, and then I mean really everything. So it's like, yeah, it's amazing. It's really fun.
The knowledge about hoof is mainly for the farriers. I didn't have any knowledge about to work with hoofs. That's why I'm starting this research project now together with Agria and vets and researchers and very good farriers.
He's always willing to share what he knows, but in the same way he's always very, strict in the way he's not saying that what he knows is the rule. He's very open-minded, and I think he really enjoys the discussion itself because it often leads to something.
We discuss innovation a lot together. We both are really trying to find always something that we can improve and do better, especially for the horses. How can they feel even better? We both believe we can only do this in the best way with a healthy horse in both ways, not only physically, but especially mentally.
And then the Olympic Games that came up, and I was very close on putting the shoes on because I knew I had All In was a very good horse. And I didn't want to experiment on the Olympic Games. So I was really, should I go barefoot or should I put back the shoes? But then he'd been going really good with no shoes.
At the Tokyo Olympics, we both, of course, had two horses barefoot. And it was interesting, me and Peter, we were going around in the stable and trying to do that last millimeter because we believe so much in details. The barefoot for sure helped us to get the gold.
To see Peter and Henrik at the Olympics in Tokyo riding barefoot made a big difference for me. I really tried it myself. Before I just did it on young horses. The biggest positive changes I've seen on my horses is actually the soundness. The horses get more sound, less injuries. But after that I decided I try it on all my horses, even the little bit older and better ones.
If you go 10, 15, 20 years into the future, for sure we will look back and see Peter as one of them who changed a little bit the view on what we're doing and how we're doing it, and makes us question more why we're doing things. Can we do it better? Not just we do it because we've always done that, but to widen our perspective a little bit. I think for sure he will be remembered as one of these riders.
It's like a new era a little bit, that the rider starts to be interested in the feet of the horse and how that actually affects the horse and the performance. This is not like a barefoot movement I'm doing. There's really missing products on the market. There's some products like for rehabilitation or for hoof diseases and so on, but I'm looking at if we could find a better solution that could make the hoof work in the best possible way, but we still can protect it so we can use it on different grounds. We can ride on grass, and just to find the solution that have the best from both worlds, the best from the barefoot and the best from the shoes.
it's an area which is very close to what Boof wants to be about. It's this philosophy of putting the horse at the center and really doing what's best for the horse in any given situation. Boof is trying to provide and to develop a range of products that will help with hoof protection without having to all the time have iron shoes on them. Another area is what we call equipment.
You know, every day I ride, I think if we just could make these small changes, you know, because it hurts a little bit here or it doesn't really fit here, or I would like to change things. So that's what we're doing now. We try to make collaboration with these companies I already work with, that we make these changes on the products that is already best in the market. We would just make them all a little bit better and make an online and make sure they are fitting and looking good together. They should be comfortable for the horse, comfortable for the rider.
One of the projects we had is the helmet for Peder, because he had a helmet that was kind of not fitting so well on his head, or kind of slipping down a little bit. So he has been working with that it's comfortable and that it fits right, and that he doesn't have to change it when he's riding. And Peder is very innovative in everything. He goes his own way and he doesn't care what others say. He has a lot of skills and knows what he wants.
One of the things that is closest to our heart is the building of what we call the Boof community. Peder is just such an inspirational and good person to be able to do this, because he has been riding at the top sport level, and yet he always has the time and the energy to think about what's best for his horses.
A lot of the time the rider has to look at horses, they have to run the stable, have to get the money and have to compete every week. When the day is over, normally there's no room for thinking about new ideas and work with companies. Like top riders, they have the days full anyway. That could be a reason that development is going quite slow. And this leaves a sport that there's really room for improvement in the equestrian sport, I think. This company I created want to be just pushing forward the development a little bit. That's why we have to start with the knowledge, just to do research, learn more, be curious. And the next step, invent new things, you know, just pushing it forward a little bit. And I think it's a great time for me to do it while I'm in the sport, because I can try the things, and I want these things to be used by people in the sport that want to become better. The horse and rider has to be as one to be able to perform really well.
The love of the horse is the most characteristic he have. He could have been a horse in a former life.
He just puts his hand on a horse and it gets calm.
He really expressed to me pure talent.
The most valuable thing was actually to watch him, because you could see that he was doing it with such a feeling.
The rider has to shape the horse and make it into a star.
Welcome back to Mexico City and welcome back to GCTV. My name is Mark Lewis, and as you can see behind me, there is so much activity happening behind us, and we're going to find out what it is all about. In fact, let me just step aside maybe even, just to give you a better idea as to what is happening there. There is an incredible presentation, an exhibition that is taking place here, and we've sent Rosie Tapner into the arena. She's going to give us some details. If you have just joined us, the Prague Lions, powered by the Czech equestrian team, lead at the end of Global Champions League round 1. There were only 2 double clears, them and the Rome Gladiators, powered by ClipMyHorse.tv, and the Canstars, who won in Doha, performed well in Miami, and now look to try and come again strong here in Mexico City. They are really knocking on the door. Are they a true championship contender by the time we get to the end of the season? It looks like they have the credentials, they have the horsepower, they have the rider experience, because they are jumping superbly well. We will take you through the start list as to how round 2 is going to play out, and we'll get some reactions to what Peter Grant has put together for Global Champions League round 2. But before we get into all of that, let's lighten the mood. This is Mexico City. Let's go to Rosie Tapner inside the ring, because I want to understand, Rosie, what on earth is happening behind me and what is going on here inside the ring?
The atmosphere is electric down here. It's just slightly calmed down for a minute, but we've had drums, we've had really loud music. Now, what you're witnessing here is the Pure Peche. Now, it's the term used for a monumental cultural display, of which we are seeing lots here. Behind me, you can see the dance of the Little Old Men, which is one of the dances of the city of Morelia. And over here, look at this stunning display as well. I tell you what, it's quite a different course walks to some of these riders having this exhibition going on behind them. This is really bringing together the arts, the architecture and the music, and it's all now part of the World Heritage, and it's here today to exhibit the modern and the innovative city that Morelia is today, and we are so lucky to be witnessing it. The crowds are huge all around here to witness this today. We've got the little devils, we've got clowns and so much more. What a spectacle that we are lucky enough to see here in Mexico City, really bringing the culture here to the show jumping.
I love that, Rosie. I really do. What an exhibition here in Mexico City to be able to see the combining of all of those fields come together. I really, really like that. So, Rosie Tapner, thank you very much. We'll find out more about that, of course, throughout the rest of the afternoon, I have no doubt. But for now, we start focusing on the sport. We start focusing on the teams that are now in the position going into GCL round 2. This is what a virtual ranking will look like. So, just to remind you, if we were to end Global Champions League right now, with the Prague Lions in first place, Rome Gladiators in second, and Canstars in third, this is what it would look like. On the right-hand side, stage points. Prague Lions would win the stage and take home 30. Rome 25, Can 21, etc. Adding it to their current existing score would take the Canstars to 65, the Rome Gladiators to 69, and the Prague Lions, if they were to hold on to their lead here today, will become the new official leaders of Global Champions League for the 2024 season. Take nothing away as well from the Mexico Amigos, punching well above their weight, now currently in 4th place as far as our virtual standings are concerned. Stockholm Hearts, Doha Falcons and Falconswart United would make up positions 5, 6 and 7. That is the virtual ranking of Global Champions League if it were to end right now. Of course, that's not the case, as we see Riesenbach International still continuing to struggle in 8th place, and the Shanghai Swans, so many people's pre-season favorites, find themselves in 12th place if they were to go on and finish where they are now. That's the virtual rankings as our wonderful Mexican exhibition really starts to pick up now. It is wonderful to see what's going on, the color, the energy, the excitement. We'll put that on aside for now, because I want to talk about the sport, I want to talk about the action, and Fredrik de Backer is standing by for us. Fredrik de Backer, this has been a really intriguing Global Champions League round 1. Take us through the changes that we can see for the second round coming up.
I'm sorry, Mark, can you say that once more?
I said, would you mind taking us through the changes that we can expect for Global Champions League round 2, the changes?
Sorry, Mark. Thank you very much. Well, we've got actually 3 teams that didn't make any changes at all. Those are Prague Lions, the team that leads at the moment. They stay with the same horses, but also with the same riders. Obviously, they don't have any third rider here, but they stay with Lady and with Impress Cavalcante. And hey, to be fair, I did think that Fernando Martinez Sommer would have brought in Lady van der Harterhoeven. Who else did make any horse changes? That's somewhat surprising. No Edwina Tops-Alexander on Valkenswaard United. It is Huppie VDL with Jack Ryan and Luna van der Denhof with Gilles Thomas. And the other team that doesn't make any horse changes, we knew that already before the start of this Global Champions League. Well, actually, Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M. We love horses. They stay with H&M Indiana and with H&M Luna van het Ruitershof Z. However, Riesebeck International, Richard Vogel, he changes to Sepano Baloubet. So other than those three teams that I mentioned, Valkenswaard as well as, what did I say, Stockholm and Prague Line, all the other teams do make horse or rider changes, Mark.
Right, thank you very much, Fredrik. I know that this is a very unique course walk that's happening behind us with so much excitement and entertainment inside the ring. Are you able to tell us anything about GCL Round 2 from the course that Peter Grant has put together just yet?
Well, Mark, because you ask so nicely, I'll tell you a little bit about that course that is built by Peter Grant. We've got it right here on our desk, and Peter Grant has come up with a course that is much more technical, much bigger also than what he has built for us already in the first round of GCL. What do you need to know about this course, Mark? Well, you need to know that actually there's nearly no straight line. The only straight line in this entire course is only from fence 10 to fence 11. All the rest is on the bend. Now, keep in mind that everything is at meter 60, some even just higher or wider than meter 60. So everything is on the bend. So Peter Grant has really made this a balancing act. 2 to 3, serpentine. 4, 5, 6, serpentine. 7, 8, 9, serpentine. And then here the only straight line, because also the last line is actually on a bend. So Peter Grant, along with the natural undulation of the arena, also plays with the balance of those horses in this very, very big track. What do I want to talk about? I want to talk about the line 7 into 8 and here into 9. It is all on related distances and all on that serpentine, on that curved line that we spoke of. In the line from 7 to 8, there's an option. Normally, it is 7 strides. However, 7 strides is actually if you take the bend. But if you don't take the bend and you jump it a little bit more on the inside, then you can do it on 6 strides. And the same option he actually gives you in the next line. Peter Grant, if you stay inside of the center line that he has built here, you can get there on 8. Otherwise, it will be 9 on the outside. So that is one of those technical lines that he has put up just to test the balance and to test the approach of the riders. Which plan do you come up with in the center of that course? But I also want to talk to you about the last line. And look how late this triple combination comes up. He's got 13 fences, and the triple combination is 12A, B, and C. So in the first part of that combination, it is actually quite short in the 2 strides. Sorry, that is in Dutch. It's short in here and it's long in here. He's given them 11 meters 30 in this part and 8 meters 40 in here. And then a very, very committed 7 strides. You first have to jump those 2 verticals, and then you have to commit on those 7 strides and really ride them with a lot of power. First jump the vertical and then get there on the 7 strides. If you're a little bit late with your reaction, Mark, you will get way too long to that final oxer. And just to give you an idea, that final oxer is 1.65 meters wide. So that is a huge test. There's balance, there's undulation, there's some options, but the main part, the biggest challenge, sits at the end of that course with a 1.65 oxer coming into the combination, then a long and a short distance coming out, and then another 1.65 oxer right at the end. You do need a lot of power in the second round of Global Champions League.
Fredrik de Backer, thank you very much. That is Peter Grant pulling out all of the stops here today for Global Champions League Round 2. And as Fredrik pointed out, the close of that competition. To have those questions being asked so late in the round, that is going to be incredibly challenging for the world's best riders coming up for Global Champions League Round 2. One of the big talking points as well is the fact that Muda Ziada comes in for the Mexico Amigos. And as expected, he goes on to jump If Looks Could Kill. Has been in outstanding form alongside If Looks Can Kill over recent weeks. In fact, 3 out of 4 clears is what the stat is for him this season. So he is right up there with the Christian Kukuks and obviously with the lowest penalty per round rate for the Mexico Amigos this season. We caught up with Muda Ziada, who comes in for the Mexico Amigos.
I'm Muda Ziada. I'm an Egyptian rider. And this is If Looks Could Kill, my special one.
Ziada with If Looks Could Kill. Very early, Muda Ziada keeps Mexico Amigos in the race.
It's my second year with him, actually. And, well, took him all the way from the 130 classes all the way up to the GCT levels. He's been doing a great job. Was already placed last year in the final in Riyadh and already did a great job starting of the season with the Mexico Amigos. He's a very special guy. You cannot really just barge in his property without asking. You know, you have to really introduce yourself and you have to ask him to get in, and he has to allow it. Otherwise, there's no communication gonna happen. So he has to allow it. He has to accept you as a person. He has to feel complete trust. And then you can do everything what you want with him. I mean, back home, I do everything to him myself. No one really touches him except me. I do it from A to Z, fully with him. He knows he's special now, and he's developing this attitude of an important horse. So I think he's kind of getting advantage of this as well. Miami is a special surrounding, is a special venue. It's an amazing venue. It's his first time being there by the beach, and he was so excited. He's also very anxious with everything around him, and he has to trust the venue pretty much. There was not enough time for that. He's so special, I promise you. He was not gonna even touch a fence in Miami, but after the injury, he was jumping completely on his own. He just knows what to do now. He really knows what to do now. I jumped him yesterday, 145 class. I was a little bit too excited. I wish I can jump him the 2 rounds of the team, but I will not be able to do that. And hopefully, if I'm still intact, I can do the Grand Prix if I qualify. Fingers crossed. I think he's the horse of my lifetime. I mean, out of 8 Grand Prix, he was 6 times clear. I mean, I think he's just right about to peak now. Mid-season, end of the year, I think this guy is gonna just barge in one of those GCT rings and just grab it out and go home with a win.
The horse of his lifetime is the description from Muda Ziada on If Looks Could Kill. As we said, 3 out of 4 clears already in 2024 in Global Champions League. Can he now add yet another as he comes in for the Mexico Amigos in the 2nd round? As you can see behind me, the ring is still very, very busy. The main exhibition has ended, but now the official course walk is underway, but there's still a lot of action happening. That means that Rosie Tapner is back inside the ring for us, and she's standing by alongside one of the Can Stars who are looking to increase their overall championship tally. Rosie, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. I can tell you it was a different course walk for sure for these riders with that amazing exhibition going along there. Natalie Dean alongside me for Can Stars, powered by Iron Dames. You're coming in for Sane then into this round. How are you feeling ahead of this?
I think we're feeling good. We had an unlucky 1 down in the last round, but I think there's only 2 teams on clears and a lot can change.
We've seen you jumping so beautifully this season, but not quite a clear. You've been so close all the way, though. Do you think this is the day that you can make it?
I think so. I'm using my top horse, Akata M, today, and it's her first time for the team, and I think she's going to do a great job.
How suited is she to this type of arena?
She's amazing. I jumped her in Auckland last year. She's jumped in big grass fields, and honestly, she's amazing wherever she goes.
You're an under-25 rider, and I've been seeing you getting lots of advice from Ben Mayer walking this course today. What has he told you?
I think he really told me to stick to my plan. We know what we're doing with the horse. We know the plan for her, and It's just ride the plan, and here we go.
Are there any particular lines of this course that you're most worried about?
I don't think so. Honestly, Annie, she's really competitive, and she's more experienced this year than she was last year, and I feel really confident on her.
The Cannes Stars are doing so brilliantly throughout the season. I know we're only stage 3, but you are joint top at the moment. Can you continue that lead?
That's the plan.
Very good luck.
Thank you.
Back to you, Mark, in the studio.
Thank you very much, Rosie. Thank you very much, Natalie Dean. The Cannes Stars powered by the Iron Dames. What a revamp that this has been for the team throughout this season. They are looking superb and once again in the hunt for a podium finish as they find themselves third last to go. Speaking of third last to go, first to go, let's remind you of the rankings from Global Champions League Round 1, because that will give you a better idea as to how then the teams are going to come out. This is how it ended at the end of Global Champions League Round 1. As we said, of course, Prague Lions, powered by the Czech equestrian team, have been in sensational form. They finished on top of everybody else. They were the team to catch. Prague Lions, Rome Gladiators, the only 2 on double clear, and the Cannes Stars on 4, the best of the 4s. Falkenswart United, as we said, very good with young Jack Ryan and Gilles Thomas. And as far as Falkenswart United are concerned, many people then expecting Edwina Tops-Alexander to then make their way back into the team. And that is not the case. The 2 young men have been given a real show of faith from Jan Tops, as both Jack Ryan and Gilles Thomas will continue to jump for Falkenswart United for the second round. We are moments away from the start of the second round of GCL. Stay with us here on GCTV. Get your live pass ready and watch every single moment of the second round as we get ready to crown champions of Mexico City for 2024. Stay with us. GCL Round 2 is next.